We're trying to be God within this world, and we're suffering. So let me be a transcendent God beyond this world. Instead of just being a businessman who's just eating some chapatis and making some money and having children and all that stuff, that's frustrated me too much. So I want to be the God of all existence. Hare Krishna. Another dream. If you're the God of all existence, then why in the world are you in the predicament that you are now? Because I have forgotten that I'm God. Prabhupada said, God does not forget that he's God. Vedaham samatitani varatamanani chajuna babashani chabutani mamtu vedana kashtana. Krishna says, I know past, present, and future. I know every living being. Me no one knows. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. I am the controller of material nature. If you're the controller of material nature, then why you're running to the bathroom? Control your bowels, oh my almighty God. Sometimes I tell that story. In a university in America, I was giving a lecture. One student, he was a PhD type student, he said, I am God. I said, well, please accept my obeisance. He said, I accept. So that was the beginning. I said, if you're God, and then we went into some philosophy, and he was just such a speculator, he just kept going on and on. No, I am God, I am the controller, I am the supreme. And then later in the class, we were talking, it was after the class, we were talking. He said he had to go to the bathroom. So I told the devotee to lock the bathroom door. So a devotee went in the bathroom inside and locked it from the inside. And he said, I have to go in that bathroom. I said, well, somebody's in it. He said, I have to go in there. I said, no, somebody's in it. He started knocking, please hurry up, hurry up. So there was other people there too. Many other people. I said, if you're God, the controller of all controllers, why can't you control your bowels? He said, no, just open up. He said, I'll explain it after I open up. I said, I'll only open it up if you admit that you're not God. He said, all right, I'm not God. So we opened the bathroom. Came out. I said, so you have attained mukti, liberation? So it doesn't make sense. God is always God. We are part and parcel of God. Mamaivam so jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. Qualitatively, we are one with God. Nityo nityanam chaitanas chaitananam eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. There are plural, many eternals. Those are the jivatmas. But there is one supreme eternal. And all the plural eternals are eternally subordinate to the supreme eternal. In the spiritual world, we are eternal when we subordinate ourselves to the will of the all-attractive Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are under the subordination of Yoga Maya. The energy that connects us to the love and the ecstasy of Krishna. The world of endless bliss. But when by our free will we want to enjoy separate from God, we come under the external energy, the Antaranga Shakti and the Bahiranga Shakti. The external energy, we are subordinate to the forces of time, where we have to get old, get diseased, and die. And the three modes of material nature that are considered like ropes that are just dragging us to so many different types of desires, so many different types of activities, then dragging us into the karmic consequences of those activities. Daivi heshu gunamai mama maya duratyaya. That Krishna tells in Gita, this material nature is very, very difficult to overcome. These three modes are very powerful ropes. But if head is up, swimming, and everyone else is looking, so nice swimming. But how far can you go in the ocean of material existence? But for one who takes shelter of the Lord, who is the master of material existence, who reciprocates with his devotee's desire, the entire vast unlimited ocean of material existence is reduced in size to the quantity of water contained within the hoof print of a small calf. That is the power of Krishna. He is Karuna Sindhu. He is an ocean of mercy. You can only cross the ocean of birth and death when you take shelter of the ocean of mercy. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. And how do we take shelter of that ocean of mercy that can deliver us of all sufferings and bring us back to that state of transcendental joy? Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu. By calling out his holy name. How the illusions of material existence just trap us. Several times I have told a story, but with your permission I will tell it again. Does that mean I have your permission? Okay, I will tell it. It was a very instructive story to me. Something of personal experience. In fact, some of you may have been there at that time. It was in the summer, a couple years ago. We were having a wonderful festival in Prabhupada Desh, which is in Albertoni, Italy. It was a wonderful festival. Several hundred devotees were there. But the problem, it was the worst heat wave in decades in Italy. It was so hot. Really hot. Now in India you're accustomed to really hot. But this was really, really hot. There was no rain, drought, just the sun. It's amazing how we perceive things in different ways. The sun is the source of all life. Yes? The sun dispels all darkness. The sun nourishes all life. But that same sun, who's the best friend of everybody, those who do Surya Namaskars, you're offering obeisances to the sun every day, can also be so oppressive and depressing, so hot. People were dying of the heat. And the Pope made a national announcement to all people in Italy. Because what do you do when there's such a heat wave? No problem, you turn on your air conditioners. But when everyone turns on the air conditioners, then there's massive power shortage. Then there's no air conditioning. Hare Krishna. And the prices of food were going up because no rain. The sun was just scorching all the crops. So the Pope made a national announcement for everyone to pray to the Almighty God for the heat to go down and for rain to come. That's pretty serious. Anyways, devotees, you may say we're transcendental. You may say we're foolish. We were having massive kirtans for hours and hours a day. And then we decided to do Harinam Sankirtan in Venice, or as they say, Venezia. How many have been to Venice? Raise your hands, please. It's one of the most beautiful historical cities in the world. And it's one of the best places for Harinam Sankirtan. Anyone who likes, I invite you in May, come to Venice and we'll do Nam Sankirtan with all the devotees there. Because there's no cars. There's only boats. The roads are canals of water coming from the sea. There's no rickshaws. Can you imagine life without rickshaws? No traffic jams. Everyone just walks along the canals and over bridges in the canals, and it's all foot traffic, not even bicycles. Everyone just walks everywhere. And in the canals there's nice boats. You have bus boats. You have taxi boats. You have individual boats. You have then those gondolas with somebody playing a mandarin and singing, and two lovers are just going, oh, it's so nice. looking at the sky, and your eyes are like the sparkling stars. Like that. So it's a very nice place. And there's people from all over the world. Everywhere. Just one little lane after another lane after another lane, and you can just dance and you could chant, and there's no stoplights and no cars and no rickshaws and no hogs or cows like in India. It's just clear, and wherever you stop there's hundreds of people, thousands of people. And then you go into the Piazza di San Marco. Huge square, gigantic square with a beautiful stone-carved cathedral. And thousands of people there from all over the world, and we're chanting and dancing. So it was a blissful Harinam, but it was so hot. I don't know, over 40 degrees Celsius. Maybe 45, I don't know what it was, but it was really hot. And devotees were perspiring profusely. And they were thirsty. And we did this Harinam for hours and hours and hours, and devotees were dancing like madmen and mad women. It was amazing, but it was very great. You know, whatever they could grab, they were fanning themselves. And, you know, their book or some, you know, whatever they could find, they were trying to get some kind of air. They were just like desperate. So they're looking at us, and we're dancing and we're chanting and we're smiling. And were you there, Ananta Prabhu? So then we went, Sachinanda Maharaj was there too, and Matsyavatar Prabhu was really nice. Sachinanda Maharaj, his dance is something that nobody has ever seen. It's a spiritual world manifested. So then we decide, we're going, not by this time it's evening, we've been doing Harinam for hours and hours, Sankirtan. We're going to bathe in the sea. And then there's going to be a feast of Italian prasad, cooked by Italian Vaishnavas. Devotees were very enthusiastic about that. So they followed a very beautiful, peaceful place on a wonderful panoramic beach. That's where we'll take our baths. So we got on a boat, all the devotees, a big boat. Hundreds of devotees on this boat, and we continued the kirtan on the boat. Then we got to this island, just a little distance from Venice. And when we got to the island, now by this time the sun's going down, but still it's just as hot. So, oppressive heat. But devotees were really taking shelter of the holy name. It was wonderful. Then we start going, we get off the boat on the island, and we're doing Nam Sankirtan to get to the beach. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour. I asked someone, where's the beach? They said it's on the other side of the island. We have to cross the island. So we crossed the island, maybe an hour. How long did it take? I don't know, 45 minutes. We finally get to the other side. And the sun had set. And the moon, it was a full moon. It was rising right out from the sea. And oh, what a beautiful sea. I cannot tell you what it was like to see the sea. Devotees just looked at it. The water was so placid, mild waves, not like Jagannath Puri. Very mild waves. And as the moon was rising, its moonbeams were glistening and dancing like sparkling jewels on the surface of the sea. And then the stars emerged, and even the stars were glistening on the surface of the sea. And then we experienced, for the first time in days, a breeze, an ocean breeze, cool. Devotees. And we felt that water. The water was cool, refreshingly cool, nectarine cool. Now you can appreciate something when you are in need of it. Yeah? Many analogies can be given. If you just eat the Govardhan Puja feast and you overeat too much, and you're laying on your left side, just, why did I do that? Why did I eat so much? My intelligence told me halfway through the feast that stop! But my senses said, no, more. And you surrender to your senses and you eat more and more and more and more and more and more. And then you get the reaction. And then somebody comes up to you and says, Prabhu, Kichoris! I know your favorite is kachoris, just like Prabhupada made. And Mother Palika has brought you this cake. Just the kind you like. What to speak of eat it? You can't even look at it. The smell of it is just causing you traumatic experience. Just get it out of here later. No, it's an aparat if you don't accept it. Very difficult. But if you're really hungry, you do Pandava Nirjali Kadasi, and then the next morning someone comes with those kachoris. Please, so nice. So this is nature. When you need something, you can enjoy it more. You can't enjoy food without hunger. So we were so hot. Every pore of our bodies, what to speak of our minds and our senses, everything was starving for that cool bath in the sea. And we were also starving for the prasad, which was going to be served right after the bath. Oh, I never saw such a sea that looked so inviting, so pleasurable. So the ladies were on one side, the men were on the other. We put on our gamchas. I have no idea what ladies put on or don't put on. I've never seen it. So they're over on that side and we're on this side and we're putting on gamchas and we go into the sea. And some of the Italian men are putting on bathing trunks and we put our foot in the water. So fresh, so cool, so just shivering with pleasure. Then we went deeper and deeper and deeper until we're all submerged. And it's like, and we're looking at the moon glistening on the surface, and we're smelling that sea water, and we're tasting it. Oh, so nice. Suddenly, I'm looking around. What's happening? Everyone's, and soon I find myself going, and nobody knew what was happening. Everyone was completely bewildered. But we were all suffering miserably. And then somebody cries out, I don't remember the exact word, but Medusa, Medusa! I said, what's this Medusa? And they said, jellyfish! The sea was permeated with jellyfish. They were everywhere. But you couldn't see them. They were all underwater. And devotees were getting stung. How many of you have been stung by a jellyfish? It's quite painful. It really burns. And we're getting stung over and over again by jellyfish, almost everyone. And we could hear from the other side these ladies going, ah, ee, ooh, ow, ow. And it's like a whole kirtan of just this sounds. Do you remember Ananta Prabhu? Am I exaggerating or no? I'm not exaggerating. He's the president of Ljubljana, so he is authority. It was real. Everyone's screaming. And yet, nobody was getting out. Unbelievable. Somebody said, somebody with some intelligence, all devotees have intelligence, but he wasn't so covered over that day, that night. One devotee just got stung a bunch of times and just started running to the bank. And he called out to some other people, let's go, let's go. And the person's going, but it's so cool. It's so refreshing. I was longing for this bath for so long. My mind was so fixed on this bath for hours and hours as we were doing Nam Sankirtana, just being beaten down by the heat. I was longing. How could I give it up? Oh. People weren't leaving. The pleasure of the cool water didn't compare to the pain of being stung by jellyfish. But still, devotees weren't leaving. Some were. And the amazing thing, as people were running out with these scars from jellyfish burns on their body, some devotees were just about to come in. And they were told, don't go in, jellyfish, Medusa, 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 don't go. No, they were saying, Italians could really be, when they want to express themselves, they can be very emotional. Medusa, Medusa, no, don't. Signorita, don't go in, you know. And the people were standing on the bank. They were looking at the moon. Just enticingly dancing on the surface of the sea, and they could feel the breeze. And they already put their feet in. It was so cool. They say, don't go in, jellyfish. How could I not go in? I've been anticipating this for so long. That's the way the mind works. When you anticipate something, you become so fixed on getting it. Even if it's going to ruin your life, still you're already conditioned to the conception that I have to have this. Yes? When you long for something, even if it's not what you expect, still, you're expecting it. The mind fixes like that. Very strange how the mind works. So they went in. Knowing there were jellyfish, they went in because they couldn't restrain from the temptation. They couldn't resist. And sure enough, they go in and they get burned and stung, but they're like that. Then we come out, there was some Gurukulis there. Ritadvaja Maharaj was there with a whole group of Gurukuli boys. And I saw some of them, I don't know what they're called, the limbs of the jellyfish were literally stuck to their flesh. And they were like peeling it off, and blood was coming off. And it was all bright red. So somehow or other we're out. We have all these jellyfish wounds. And after we're out, we're all thinking, why did I go in there? Why did I stay in there? Wasn't worth it. But at least, we're starving. Prasad will come. So we're sitting on the bank. We hadn't eaten prasad for hours and hours and hours and danced for hours and hours and hours. And then the announcement comes. The prasad has not come. In fact, it hadn't even reached the island. It was still on a boat somewhere. Do you remember, Ananta? So, no prasad. All of our dreams were being smashed. But we waited, no matter how long it took. If it was all night, we were going to wait for that prasad to come. So we waited. And we waited. And meanwhile, devotees are asking questions. What do I do about this burning, stinging? Because it's not that the jellyfish wounds are over when you get out of the water. They're increasing. And there was no medicine. We didn't know where to go. So one person said, in my village, the way we resolve this jellyfish burns is you have to pass urine on the wound. And that will give relief and it will heal it. And I saw devotees saying, Ma, that's Muchi. That's not Brahminical to pass urine on your wounds. But then I saw some devotees secretly going off to the side. They wouldn't let anybody know they were being so un-Brahminical, but out of desperation, you know. They were passing urine on their jellyfish wounds. Finally, the prasad came. Harivo. And everyone was quite happy. And we all walked across the island again and boarded the boat and returned. So this incident is very much representing how Maya works. She creates an illusion. She creates on the surface of the sea of material existence. She creates such a pleasing, enticing, tempting, sensually inviting proposal to our sense of smell, to our eyes, to our ears, hearing. We were listening to the waves. Ah, so soothing. To the ears, to the nose, to the taste, to the touch. Everything is so pleasing on the surface. But material nature is below the surface of every pleasure is jellyfish. The jellyfish of suffering. The jellyfish of birth, old age, disease, and death. The jellyfish of adhyatmaka, adhibautika, adhidaivika. The miseries caused by one's own mind and body. The miseries caused by natural disturbances. And the miseries caused by other people or other living entities. These threefold miseries are beneath that surface of everything within this material existence. But in the dream of Maya, she creates this superficial facade. And an intelligent person, yehi samsparashaja bhoga dukkha jonaya evate atyantavanta konteya nate shuramate buddha. An intelligent person knows it may look and feel and taste and hear and sound very pleasing. But I know what's beneath the surface. Suffering. So why not engage my mind and senses in the service of the Lord? On the surface, it may appear difficult. Tapasya. Tapodivam putra kayena sattvam. On the surface, chanting Hare Krishna, following the regulative principles, not giving in to sinful activities, reading, coming to Srimad Bhagavatam, to Mangalarti, doing all these activities. On the surface, it may appear difficult. We're giving up certain things and there's some austerity. But we know beneath the surface is an ocean, a bottomless, shoreless ocean of transcendental ecstasy in the service of the Lord. Beneath the surface is divine love. So let me dive deeply into that. But then there's that other ocean. where everything appears so sensually pleasing. But we know what's beneath it. Materialistic people, they get stung by the jellyfish again and again and again, but because they don't understand the philosophy, they don't know why this is happening. They just keep trying. They're just trying to find some other place where there may not be jellyfish. But what they don't know is they're everywhere. And a neophyte devotee sees it, knows what's below the layer, but still is so conditioned and addicted, just keeps trying to enjoy apart from Krishna. Keeps accepting the sources of misery in the name of sensual pleasures. It's a very profound experience with a very deep and powerful lesson. But the path of bhakti is so beautiful. Prabhupada said we are having the best sense gratification. But it's sense gratification that, because it satisfies Krishna's senses, instead of binding us to misery, it liberates us from misery. And awakens our spiritual love. We are smelling the incense that is offered to the Lord, the flowers that are offered to the Lord. We are tasting the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord, the charanamrit, the mahaprasad of the Lord. Prasad is so nice. We're hearing beautiful music, kirtan, bhajan. We're hearing with our ears pleasing discourses of Hari Katha. With all our senses, we're seeing the beautiful deities. We're seeing the beauty of a temple of the Lord, which is not different than the Lord. It's purifying us. We're seeing the wonderful Vaishnavas. Just seeing a Vaishnava, one becomes purified because that person's body is dedicated to the Lord. And with our hands, Samvaimana Krishna Padaravindayo, with our sense of touch, we're embracing the devotees of the Lord. We're engaging in devotional activities with our senses. Kevala Ananda Kanda, it's simply joyful. That is Krishna consciousness. And through engaging in these Krishna conscious activities, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole. Kota Nidra Jaya Maya Pisa Chira Kole. We can awaken from the dream. This endless dream. Srila Prabhupada said it is not necessary to try to understand the history of when the soul came into this world and what has happened since the soul has been in this world. Not necessary. All that's necessary is to know that because of my misuse of independence, I'm here, and because I continue to misuse my independence, I remain. But Krishna consciousness is the positive experience. Vishayava nivartante niraharasya varana. Rasa varajam rasopyasya param dristva nivartate. What's so difficult to do, to control the mind and senses, becomes a relishable activity when we experience the higher taste. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda Prabhu descended in this world to give us this higher taste. And Srila Prabhupada so beautifully on behalf of the Acharyas, has spread this most precious of all benedictions to the whole world, inviting us to wake up by chanting very loudly the Holy Name. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanandi. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.